Friends, welcome to the tutorial series on network analysis made simple. During the previous tutorial titled Maximum Power Transfer Theorem Part 1, we studied the DC circuit to find the condition for maximum power transfer across the varying pure resistance load. During another tutorial of part 2, we took AC circuit but varying pure resistance load and found the condition for maximum power transferred across it. During this tutorial titled Maximum Power Transfer Theorem Part 3, we shall study the theorem by taking AC circuit and complex varying load. Friends, during both the previous tutorials, I have already mentioned this aspect of varying complex load. So, we shall study more in detail in this tutorial. Friends, consider the AC circuit shown in figure, wherein the AC source voltage is Vs and the source impedance Zs is equal to Rs plus Jxs. Let the load impedance ZL is equal to RL plus JXL. It could also be RL minus JXC. But when the load is complex, we know that only RL may vary, or only XL or XC may vary, or both resistance and reactance part of the load may vary. So, first we shall consider case 1 wherein only RL is varying as shown in figure. Remember, here XL will be constant. The strategy to find the condition for maximum power transferred is number 1, find the equation for IL. Number 2, find the modulus of IL, because power absorbed in the load P is equal to mod of IL squared into RL. Note, power is absorbed only in resistance part of the load. Next, number 3, find the equation for power absorbed in the load. Then 4, find dP by dRL and equate it to 0 and find the condition for maximum power transfer to the load. So, we know IL is equal to Vs divided by Rs plus RL plus J times Xs plus XL, and mod of IL is equal to Vs divided by square root of Rs plus RL whole square plus Xs plus XL whole square. How we got this mod of IL, I have already explained in the previous tutorial. Then, equation for power transfer to load P is equal to mod of IL squared into RL. By substituting for IL, we get P is equal to Vs squared into RL divided by Rs plus RL whole square plus Xs plus XL whole square. Now, dP by dRL is equal to, we know it is in the U by V form. Hence, dP by dRL is equal to denominator into d by dRL of numerator minus numerator into d by dRL of denominator divided by denominator square. By putting dP by dRL equal to 0, we see that only this part of the equation is left out, because Vs squared and denominator taken to the right hand side of equal to sign result in 0. So, by putting Rs plus RL whole square plus Xs plus XL whole square minus RL into 2 times Rs plus RL equal to 0 and solving it, we get RL is equal to square root of Rs squared plus Xs plus XL whole square. By substituting this value of RL in the equation of current, we have to find mod of IL and then find Pmax using Pmax is equal to mod of IL squared into RL. Hope you understood it. Friends, now let us take case 2 wherein only XL part of the load as varying. As usual, let Zs is equal to Rs plus Jxs and source voltage be Vs and load impedance be ZL is equal to RL plus JXL as shown in figure. Now, consider the case when only JXL component as varying as shown in figure. Note, in this case RL will remain constant. The strategy of finding the condition for maximum power transferred across the load is same as we saw in the earlier case, but note we have to find dP by dXL and equate it to 0 because XL part of the load is varying. Therefore, equation for IL, mod of IL and power P will be same as we got in the earlier case. So, now you see that dP by dXL is again in U by V form. So, dP by dXL is equal to Vs squared into denominator into d by dXL of numerator minus numerator into d by dXL of denominator divided by denominator square. By putting dP by dXL to 0 and solving it, we get XL is equal to minus XS. By substituting XL is equal to minus XS in the equation of current IL, we have to obtain mod of IL and then find Pmax using Pmax is equal to mod of IL squared into RL. Note, power is consumed only in RL. Friends, now let us take a case 3 wherein both resistance RL and the reactance part of load XL as varying as shown in figure. You note that this is a combination of case 1 and case 2, and if you have understood case 1 and case 2, this theorem you will understand very easily. So, as usual, let AC source voltage be Vs and source impedance be Zs is equal to Rs plus Jxs and the load impedance ZL is equal to RL plus Jxl. In this case, to find the condition for maximum power transferred, we have to apply the superposition principle as both RL and XL are varying. Hence, the strategy will be, first let us assume that only reactance part of the load XL as varying, taking RL as constant. You know, this is case 2 which we discussed just now. Therefore, we found that the condition for maximum power transferred to the load is XL is equal to minus XS. You know it. So, we know the equation for power as P is equal to Vs squared into RL divided by Rs plus RL whole square plus Xs plus XL whole square. In this equation of power, if we put XL is equal to minus XS, we get P is equal to Vs squared into RL divided by Rs plus RL whole square. Now, we shall assume RL as varying and find dP by dRL, and after finding dP by dRL by equating it to 0, we get RL is equal to Rs. Friends, now look, we have got two conditions. One, RL is equal to Rs, and two, XL is equal to minus XS, and our load is ZL is equal to RL plus JXL. Hence, for maximum power transfer across the load, we should have ZL is equal to Rs minus JXS, or we can call this as Zs conjugate. So, by substituting ZL is equal to Zs conjugate, we have to find IL and mod of IL and then find P max equal to mod IL squared into RL. Is it not simple, friends? Friends, for your convenience, here you find the summary of all the 5 cases, including the previous tutorials on maximum power transfer theorem. Given a numerical example, first you have to observe certain aspects. Number 1, whether the circuit is DC or AC. Number 2, if the circuit is AC, look for what component of load is varying. Number 3, apply that condition and find IL, mod of IL and P max. Of course, before we do all this, remember we have to apply Thevenin's theorem by opening the load branch, and we shall see these aspects when we solve the numerical examples. Friends, here is an interesting question from the university examination. I thought it will help you about how you have to analyze the question and answer it correctly. The question is like this: state and prove the maximum power transfer theorem for AC circuits. That's all. So, before we start answering this question, let us analyze the question for a moment. Number 1, the circuit is AC, fine, but whether the load is pure resistance or the load is complex is not specified. Number 2, we know that the statement of the maximum power transfer theorem differs depending on the varying load component. Particularly, you saw earlier that if the circuit is AC, 4 cases are to be taken into account. Hence, before we start answering such questions, we have to indicate for what circuit we write the statement and provide the proof. So, usually under such circumstances, it is better if we assume that the load is complex and both resistance and reactance part of load as varying. Also, that is usually done in practice. So, the following could be the typical answer. Friends, I do not claim that this answer is unique. Therefore, the typical answer could be: in general, in AC circuits, the condition for maximum power transferred to the varying load depends on the type of load and what component of load is varying. Hence, if Zs is equal to Rs plus Jxs and the load impedance Zl is equal to RL plus Jxl, and if both RL and Jxl are varying, maximum power transfer theorem states that the maximum power is transferred to load when ZL is equal to Zs conjugate. For providing the proof, consider the AC circuit across which a complex load ZL is equal to RL plus JXL is connected as shown in figure. We see that both RL and JXL are varying. By writing the Kirchhoff's voltage equation for the loop, we get IL is equal to Vs divided by Rs plus RL plus J times Xs plus XL, and mod of IL is equal to Vs into 1 divided by square root of Rs plus RL whole square plus Xs plus XL whole square. Note, you need not explain how you got this. But power P is equal to Vs squared into RL divided by Rs plus RL whole square plus Xs plus XL whole square. Assuming only XL varying, dP by dXL is equal to Vs squared into denominator into d by dXL of numerator minus numerator into d by dXL of denominator divided by denominator square. By putting dP by dXL is equal to 0, we get XL is equal to minus XS. substituting XL is equal to minus XS in the equation of power, we get P is equal to Vs squared into RL divided by Rs plus RL whole square. Now, by assuming RL as varying and finding dP by dRL and equating it to 0, we get RL is equal to Rs. Then, when both RL and XL are varying, we get the condition for maximum power transferred across the load as ZL is equal to ZS conjugate. Hope you got the skill of answering such questions. Friends, now let us solve only one numerical example in this tutorial to emphasize the concept we have learnt. We shall solve some more examples in the subsequent tutorials. In this example, we are required to find the load impedance and the maximum power transferred across it when both resistance and reactance part of the load are varying. The question is clear. So, the strategy will be number 1, open the load branch and find VThevenin. Number 2, force the current source to 0 as there is only one source by opening it and find ZThevenin. Number 3, draw the Thevenin's equivalent circuit across the load branch ZL. Note ZL will be equal to ZThevenin conjugate or ZS conjugate because ZThevenin will be equal to ZS. So, to find VThevenin, open the load branch as shown in figure. You will observe that two parallel branch impedances, one of 5 plus J5 and the other of 2 minus J2 are in parallel across a current source of 5 angle 90 amperes. So, we can apply parallel branch theorem or current division theorem to find I2. Hence, I2 is equal to impedance of the other branch divided by sum of the two parallel branch impedances into total current. By solving, we get I2 is equal to 4.64 angle 111.8 amperes. But Thevenin is equal to I2 into minus J2. So, by substituting for I2 and solving it, we get Thevenin is equal to 9.28 angle 21.8 volts. Now, to find ZThevenin, the current source is forced to 0 by open circuiting it as shown in figure. Now, you observe that there are two parallel paths, one of 2 plus 5 plus J5 and the other of minus J2. So, by calculating the equivalent impedance, we get ZThevenin is equal to 0.482 minus J 2.2 ohm. By using Thevenin and ZThevenin, the Thevenin's equivalent circuit drawn is shown in figure. You find that Vs is equal to 9.28 angle 21.8 volts and Zs is equal to 0.482 minus J 2.2 ohm and ZL is equal to 0.482 plus J 2.2 ohm. But IL is equal to Vs divided by Zs plus ZL. So, by substituting the values, we get IL is equal to 9.626 angle 21.8 amperes. Therefore, mod of IL is equal to 9.626 amperes. But we know P max is equal to mod of IL squared into RL, and note here that we have to choose the resistance part of the load only to find P max. Therefore, by substituting the values, we get P max is equal to 44.66 watt. Friends, in this tutorial, we have learned to derive the equations for maximum power transferred taking AC circuit and complex load. We saw that the condition for maximum power transferred is dependent on what component of load is varying. Further, you have to remember that the power is consumed only in the resistance part of the complex load. Also, I hope you acquired relevant skills to analyze the given question and answer it to the point. I suggest you learn to identify the connectivity of the circuit elements when either branch is opened or short circuited and when sources are made zero correctly. Friends, if this tutorial has ignited some of your thoughts, please forward your feedback and suggestions to my email. Thank you for watching this video.